All right, let's begin with number 6, Ohio State defeating number 9, Notre Dame, 17-14 in South Bend, Indiana. It came down to the wire, and it was dramatic.
McCord in the shotgun. Trainham off his right hip. Too wide to the right. Snap McCord. Hands to Trainham. Straight ahead. End zone. Touchdown. Chip Trainham. For the second straight week. Bogey. The converted linebacker finds the end zone, and that'll win it for Ohio State.
Look, we first got that big explosion play from Trevion Henderson to get the Buckeyes their first 6 points on the board. If I had told you Ohio State would give up just 14 points into the fourth quarter, you would think Ohio State would be winning. Not exactly. Not in this case. Ohio State trailed 14-10 late into this game. During the game, Ohio State couldn't get off the field. This wasn't good for Buckeye fans and head coach Ryan Day and that defense. Ohio State hasn't been good, particularly running the ball in short yardage so far this season. Notre Dame was beating Ohio State in the line of scrimmage. Ohio State can't get to Hartman. They can't run the ball on short yardage. To me, Kyle McCord needs to come up with something special. Not necessarily with wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., who's coming back from a sprained ankle injury, but with Emeka Mbuka, who came up big with 7 receptions for 96 yards. But toward the end, it felt like Ohio State was still going to pull this out. With the minute and 26 left, Kyle McCord marches down the field and scores. He threw for 240 yards in that game. And McCord, he stands there. He makes play after play. They also got that big play from Julian Fleming. Now Kyle McCord throws it short to Fleming to get that huge first down for the Buckeyes. Now this is a great win for Ohio State. This helps Buckeye fans feel much better about their Big Ten schedule that remains. Now, they still have to get past Penn State, who's good, and Michigan, who's also good. And now we get to Notre Dame. Quarterback Sam Hartman looked the part. Sam Hartman makes them a different program. He's already thrown for over 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. Audric Estimate looked the part. Now going into this game, Ohio State were 3-point favorites. And we get to the end, Ohio State wide receiver Emeka catches the ball at the 1-yard line. Ohio State races up, spikes the ball with 7 seconds left, and then they are out of timeouts. They line up for that second down play, timeout, Fighting Irish. There was something everyone noticed after the game, and that was out of a timeout, they played 2 snaps with 10 players on the field. Now, I don't know what happened there, but overall, that was the big question I had for Ohio State going into this game. Ohio State ranked 3rd nationally in defense, but how good would both of these secondaries be when playing 2 good quarterbacks in college football? Now, Kyle McCord showed his experience, his youth. There is that interception in the end zone, and you can punch it in the 1-yard line to get 6 points in the first half. The game did not need to be close than it needed to be for Ohio State. But you can't get experience without experience. Put the 4-star quarterback in the football game. You tell him now is the time to win the game or learn from this loss. I did not expect this to be tooth and nail for both of these offenses, even though I expected the defenses to be good. 2 top 5 defenses. Ohio State ranked 3rd, allowing just 223 yards per game, and the Fighting Irish followed right behind them, ranked 4th, allowing just 234 yards. Now Jim Knowles' defense is finally starting to click for Ohio State. Just giving up 14 points to this Fighting Irish, who've been putting up at least 41 points this season so far. And for Ohio State, who've allowed just 20 points through the first 3 games. This is also the fewest points allowed since 1975, since the team has allowed 16 points through the first 3 games. I like how it was Ohio versus the world. I think Notre Dame versus USC down the line is going to be a very good game, just like this one. If you're the Fighting Irish, you go undefeated the rest of the season, you beat USC, you're right there. Especially if Ohio State wins the Big Ten. No one will hold this against you. I expect people to look at Notre Dame differently, maybe less or more. You can't tell me about beating on Navy, NC State, or even Tennessee State, but you get Ohio State at your door, and you're up 14-10 late into the game with an opportunity to win the game, and you force the Buckeyes to find something like 3 seconds to go to beat you. No one thought Ohio State's defense would be the strength of the team. For Ohio State, who hasn't given up any points in the second half all season till this game, but Ohio State fans know the offense can catch up, the O-line will come together, and quarterback Kyle McCord will begin to figure things out. And having those running backs in Chip Trahan and Trevion Henderson, and having other options besides wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., like Emeka Mbuka and Julian Fleming, that's only going to help. Especially Xavier Johnson coming up with the big play in the fourth quarter.